Lenovo is currently the manufacturer with the largest market share in the world in laptops. And I'll start with a not very usual one of those. Undoubtedly the most interesting laptop at CES last week was the ThinkBook Plus Gen 6, the first in the world with a rollable display. Yes, you heard that right. After several years of ambitious concepts, Lenovo has finally managed to turn the idea of a rollable display into a product we can buy for a hefty sum, but we'll get to that shortly. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary laptop. It's not particularly thick or heavy, it's made from good materials, and you'd swear it's just another plain laptop. Well, that is until you press the special button on the keyboard and your seemingly traditional laptop screen grows from 14 to 16.7 inches in about 10 seconds, offering a productivity experience rarely found on other models. I find this particularly useful when, for example, you work a lot in Excel and you need to manage long spreadsheets or endless PowerPoint presentations. You can fit substantially more information this way, and although I consider it a niche product, those who appreciate this will absolutely love it. The resolution in standard mode of 2000 by 1600 pixels is a bit unusual because it's quite square, unlike the formats we're used to, but it's not a deal breaker for productivity, which is the main purpose of this laptop. But the best part is yet to come. In rolled out mode, the resolution increases to 2000 by 2350 pixels and you can stack two 16 by 9 windows one above the other, which I find great if such a setup helps you more than a single tall window. Durability remains a question mark, but the motors that handle the rolling and unrolling of the screen seem quite robust and not very noisy. Of course, they aren't entirely silent, and in an office, they might draw attention to you, but I'm sure even more attention will come from the fact that you have a laptop that expands at the push of a button. As for quality, the display is OLED at 120 Hz, of course, so all the advantages of infinite contrast and good brightness are present here too. The other specs are not extraordinary: an Intel Core Ultra 7 processor with a 1TB SSD and 32 GB of RAM, but they are sufficient. The bigger issue lies in the ports, where, presumably limited by the space required for the rolling mechanism, Lenovo has included only 3: 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports and the 3.5mm headphone jack, and that's it. This means that if you choose to spend $3,500 on such a device, you'll also need to budget for some adapters because you will need them. Yes, I know $3,500 is not a small price, but it's not unheard of in the realm of top-tier laptops. Now, whether there will be many who appreciate this design and have the money to buy it, I don't know, but I can certainly say this is one of the most impressive products I've seen at CES. Next on the list are two new ThinkPad X9 models, 14 and 15 inches, which have undergone significant redesigns. They are thinner than ever, but responsibly built. The bar that runs across their chassis from one end to the other on the bottom side is called the engine hub, and it's where we find the fans and cooling grills, along with the ports. The Yoga family also received some new representatives at this year's CES edition. The first and most interesting is the YogaBook 9i, the 2025 version of the dual-screen laptop we tested some time ago. It has a significantly larger battery than its predecessor, and the screens are OLED at 120 Hz, so whatever you choose to watch will look good and smooth. Next is the Yoga Slim 9i, the first laptop with a webcam hidden under the screen. This means the laptop doesn't need a thick bezel at the top edge to house the camera, so the screen-to-body ratio is sensational and the display feels larger than its mere 14 inches. We didn't have the chance to test the webcam's quality, but I expect it to perform slightly worse than a traditional one that isn't obstructed by a display. The price of nearly $2,000 is not low, but the Yoga Slim 9i seems like a worthwhile option for those looking for a portable and chic laptop. And last but not least is the Yoga 7i 2-in-1, available in 14 and 16-inch versions. We're talking about a convertible here, which can transform into a massive tablet if needed, equipped with 2.8K OLED displays, 120 Hz refresh rate, and generous 17 Wh batteries. There were also some new developments in the desktop segment, with the first desktop PC integrated a Qualcomm chip, specifically a Snapdragon X series model. It has a small and thin form factor, ideal for taking up as little desk space as possible, but still comes with a healthy selection of ports, including 3 USB-A, 3 USB-C 3.2 Gen 2, HDMI 2.1 and DisplayPort 1.4a for video, along with an Ethernet port to provide the necessary speed if Wi-Fi 6E isn't enough. There are a few other refreshes worth mentioning, like a new IdeaPad, but I'm sure we'll get more familiar with them as we receive them for testing. Until then, let's switch gears and talk about gaming, another segment where Lenovo has brought some news. And the first and most important, in my opinion, is the new Legion Go S. Lenovo enjoyed many world firsts at this year's CES, and the Go S can also be added to this list as the first handheld in the world to come pre-installed with SteamOS, other than Valve's Steam Deck. This is an extremely important move, and I've said multiple times that Windows is the biggest enemy of portable consoles in the current climate. The truth is that Windows isn't exactly suited for a touch interface, and you rely on imprecise touches for navigation or on hard-to-use virtual keyboards that take up most of the display. Drivers with many compatibility issues and troubleshooting sessions when something doesn't work as it should don't help either. We also reviewed a Steam Deck recently, and we concluded that SteamOS is the best operating system for this type of product. But it has a problem. It's proprietary to Valve, and until now there were few hints that Valve wanted to offer their OS to other integrators. Well, it seems Valve is open to collaboration, and SteamOS is now officially available for everyone. So we can expect to see Valve's operating system on more and more handhelds. Of course, for it to work, SteamOS must run on compatible hardware, and since Valve produces only one portable console at the moment, the list of components is extremely limited. The good news is that a Valve representative assured us that they are working hard to increase compatibility with as many hardware configurations as possible, making it only a matter of time before you can install SteamOS on most consoles of this type. It will be harder to support desktop PC configurations, but if things go well and Valve's initiatives to open SteamOS is successful on handhelds, I expect to see progress in the PC direction as well. The Lenovo Legion Go S with its AMD Z1 Extreme is fully supported, which leads me to think that other devices from other manufacturers might also be compatible with SteamOS. I'm thinking of the ROG Ally X with Z1 Extreme, and I promise to try installing SteamOS on an Ally at the first opportunity. Returning to the Legion Go S, besides coming with the correct operating system, the new handheld also has an absolutely fabulous 8-inch OLED screen at 120Hz with VRR and Full HD resolution, perfect for these dimensions. A notable difference from the first Lenovo Legion Go is that the S version doesn't have detachable controllers, which is a plus in my eyes since the chassis is much more rigid. Sure, you lose gimmicks like using a controller as a mouse, but it's a small price to pay for a portable console meant to be used as it is, without detachable controllers. It's also noticeably lighter than the monstrous Legion Go, which should make it much more comfortable to hold. Another welcome change is the battery, now larger, going from 49 to 55.5 watt-hour. Combined with the less power-hungry screen, the Legion Go S should have significantly better battery life, solving one of its predecessor's main drawbacks. I admit I'm tempted to buy one myself after resisting the urge to order a Steam Deck for the holidays, hoping Valve might announce a successor. Well, it seems my answer comes from Lenovo, and the new Legion Go S seems to embody all the qualities I looked for in a handheld. The Windows version of the console will launch sometime this month at a starting price of $600, while the SteamOS version will arrive around May this year for $500, so $100 less. Could that $100 be Microsoft's fee? And this isn't the only handheld presented by Lenovo, there's also a Legion Go 2. Ta-da! It's not a product ready for prime time, but Lenovo assured me they aim for a full launch sometime in the fall of this year. Although we couldn't power it on, I appreciated that despite retaining the detachable controller system, the new Go 2 is more robust than the previous version, although not as well built as the Go S. You shouldn't worry about raw power though, as the new Legion Go 2 is expected to come with AMD Z2 and Z2 Extreme processors, promising improvements in all key areas, such as gaming performance and ray tracing, along with the optimizations in battery life, allowing you to play longer on a single charge. The screen used is now OLED instead of previous IPS, and it comes out of the box with twice the storage, from 1 to 2 terabytes. The battery has also received a major upgrade, with capacity increasing from 50 to 74 watt-hour, an almost 50% increase, which I'm sure will make a noticeable difference. As I said, it's still early for a final release, but I'm curious to test the new console and see exactly how good it is. Otherwise, on a continuous fire, we also saw the new Legion Pro 7i, Legion Pro 5i and Legion Pro 5 laptops, all with a new and more aggressive design, more power under the hood, and of course powered by the new NVIDIA RTX 5000 series graphics cards. For top variants, you can even fit a 5090, and I'm extremely curious to discover how NVIDIA's new flagship performs in a portable format. Another novelty is the option for an OLED screen if your heart desires it. Also present at CES was the new Legion Tab tablet, now powered by Qualcomm's excellent Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, so anyone who buys such a device will have a great mobile gaming experience. And this is where we stop with this video, and now it's your turn. Which of these Lenovo devices announced at CES and presented here seemed the coolest to you, and why? Well, that's it for today. Please subscribe to our tiny channel if you want to reward our efforts somehow. I thank you whether you do it or not, and as always, wish you all the best.